Hey you! Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So this video is part 2 of the 3-part mini series that I have decided to do on 30 lessons that I have learned in 30 years of my life. I did a part 1 last week where I talked about the first 10 lessons that I have learned, and this video is going to be about the next 10 lessons that I have learned in 30 years of my life. If you've not watched part 1 yet, I will link that video down in the description of this video as well as in the cards somewhere here so that you can watch part 1 as well if you feel like. Alright then, let's get down to the next 10 lessons that I have learned. Talking about lesson number 11, and this subject always used to confuse me, it always used to baffle me. Whenever people used to say things like be your own best friend or love yourself first or enjoy your own company, I never really knew how. Until and unless I learned this. Being comfortable in your own company begins with speaking kindly to yourself. That's it. It all begins there. Once you start speaking kindly to yourself, it eventually leads to you being compassionate to yourself, you being empathetic with yourself, you being kinder to yourself, you being soft on yourself, which ultimately translates to you feeling safe with yourself. And once you start feeling safe with yourself, you start enjoying your own company in that safety. Okay, lesson number 12. Life gets a lot easier once you start recognizing where each voice in your head is really coming from. And I've talked about the voices in our head in a video that I did a long time ago. I will link it down in the description of this video. You can watch it whenever you like. It's on how to recognize each voice in your head. There are a lot of voices in our head, the voice of fear, the voice of judgment, the voice of intuition, and we often confuse these voices with one another. We sometimes confuse our fears with our intuition, our judgment with our intuition, and I think that overthinkers at this point will really get me, because I am an overthinker myself, and sometimes it gets really hard to differentiate where each voice is coming from. However, once you start to recognize each voice, once you start to recognize where exactly that voice is coming from, is it coming from a fear or if it is coming from a judgment, life literally becomes so much more easier. Honestly, it's a very difficult skill to master. Listening to the voices in your head and recognizing each voice, it's a skill in itself, and it takes time and practice to do that. And so yeah, with time I have learned that the sooner you recognize the voices in your head, the easier your life gets with time. Alright, segueing from the voices in our head, lesson number 13 is about our voice of intuition in specific. What I have learned in life is that your voice of intuition, initially it's a very faint whisper, and it's very hard to hear because it's very soft. But the more you practice to listen to your intuition, the stronger and louder it gets with time. And the stronger it gets with time, the more you are able to trust your intuition, which is a great thing to have in life, trusting your intuition. Alright, moving on to lesson number 14, which is about love. And the thing that I've learned about love is that just because the love was real doesn't mean that it was right. No matter how good the person was, how right the person was, if that person was not right for you, that love was not right for you. Okay, lesson number 15. You don't have to hate someone in order to move on from them. Which brings me to my lesson number 16. You don't really have to forgive someone in order to move on from them. Moving on to lesson number 17, which is the timelines that are set by the society, they are not real. Your life, it does not come with a rule book. Nowhere is it written that by the age of 25 or 28 you need to get married, by the age of 30 you need to have kids. It's all set up by the society, and this way has been set up so long ago because back then it made sense, but now that the times have changed, those timelines may or may not make sense anymore. And so you don't really have to follow all these timelines and feel pressured by them just to live your life. You can live your life in your own ways, however it is suited for you. You can become successful at the age of 50. You can find love at the age of 40. I mean, who knows? There are no rules to life. And so, may as well live your life your way. Okay, lesson number 18. You'll start finding peace once you stop expecting from others to validate your worth. Once you start knowing your own worth, and once you start believing in your own worth, you wouldn't need anyone else to validate your worth for you. And that is exactly when life starts getting really peaceful. Alright, moving on to lesson number 19. Whatever it is that you've lost in life till now, you have the power in you to create and recreate that, especially if you've lost parts of yourself, or especially if you've lost yourself. I'm not talking about the people that you've lost in life. You cannot recreate other people. But when it comes to parts of yourself that you've lost for other people, or for things, or for responsibilities, or for anything for that matter, you always have the power to recreate those parts of yourself. You always have the power to create and keep recreating yourself every goddamn time. The last lesson of this video, which is lesson number 20, but it's not the least because there's the part 3 coming up. And it's that at the end of it all, I am always grateful to the people who have wronged me or to the people who have hurt me, because they left me with either a lesson or an inspiration to create something. No matter how much I resented them at that moment, no matter how angry I was at them or how bitter I became towards them, at the end of it, I'm always grateful for them that they came in my life and gave me the hurt, because that hurt, it taught me a really big life lesson which helped me level up in some way or the other. So at the end of the day, I'm always grateful to the people who have wronged me or who have hurt me in any way. Alright, so that would be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching if you've watched till the end. I will soon be coming up with a part 3 of this video where I will be talking about the final 10 lessons that I've learned in my life. I hope that these little lessons bring some value to your life as well. So yeah, I hope to see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care.